He's always watching. The eyes of the Lord are everywhere, keeping watch on the wicked and the good. One of the easiest ways to connect to God is to acknowledge the fact that he's watching everywhere, everything. He sees and he knows. When you're kind, he sees. When you're hurtful, he sees. When you're loving, he sees. When you're hateful, he sees. Acknowledging the fact that God is watching will increase your connection to him because you believe that he's watching you and he's concerned about what you're doing every moment of every day. You'll never connect to a person that you ignore. And if you ignore God, you'll never connect to him. Remember that he's watching and acknowledge the fact that what you do, he sees. Seek his pleasure. When a man's ways please the Lord, he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him. If you want to connect with God, you must connect with those things that please God. What does God like? How does God want you to treat people? How does God want you to respond to adversity? If you want to connect with God, connect with the things he loves. He loves people. He loves kindness. He loves grace. He loves mercy. He loves forgiveness because he forgave you. So if you want to connect with him, develop the heart that is like God and you'll become more like him and be connected to him as a result. Seek his reward. I say this because many deceivers who do not acknowledge Jesus Christ as coming in the flesh have gone out into the world. Any such person is a deceiver and the Antichrist. Watch out that you do not lose what you've worked for, but that you may be rewarded fully. When I was growing up, I wanted my allowance. So I would wash the dishes. I would vacuum the floor. I wouldn't beat up my little brother. Why? Because I wanted my allowance. So is that any different with God? There is a reward that God has set up for those that love him, those that obey him, those that connect with him through his son, Jesus. If you seek his reward, you are connecting to him because there are certain ways, certain things that he has already put in place to reward those that love him. Seek God's reward and you'll be close to him. You'll be connected to him. Why? Because his reward is in his hand. And you can't get within his hand if you aren't close enough to get it. Include him in your life and decisions. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean to your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make straight your paths. When's the last time you had something to do, somewhere to go, even something to wear, and you acknowledged God? If you include God in your decision making, Father, what should I do? And really wait for an answer, you're connecting to him. You are on purpose, pulling in the spirit and saying, God, be close to me. God, be with me. God, interact with me. God, lead me. God, guide me. Because you want to be connected to him. And if you want to be connected to him, acknowledge him. Give him a right to lead and guide you. Read the Bible. All scripture is breathed out by God and profitable for teaching, for reproof, for correction, and for training in righteousness. One of the best ways to know how a person thinks is to read what they wrote. I have several books that I've written on topics about how men should treat women, on being a better man, blase, blase. And if you want to know how I think, you read what I wrote. So if you want to know how God thinks, read the Bible. If you want to know how he feels about relationships, about marriage, about your finances, about your health, about your relationship with him, read his word. And the more you read his word, the more you connect with his spirit. Because the Bible is alive. As we connect to his word, we connect to him. But if you aren't reading his word, how can you truly know how he thinks if you don't know what he said? There's a saying that goes, a chapter a day keeps foolishness away. Okay, it's not really a saying, I just made that up. But a chapter a day might keep foolishness away. Why? Because it fills your heart with love. It fills your heart with the kingdom, and it combats whatever else that's going on in the world. That drama in traffic, that person that's talking about you behind your back, the argument you had with your girl. So if you've got a Bible in your home, if you've got a Bible on your phone, read it. If you want to connect with him, read his word. Protect your relationship with Jesus. Be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion seeking someone to devour. When you have a relationship with someone, you protect that relationship. Some Christians move away from Christ, not because Christ is the problem, but because they have no relationship with him. They knew of him, they knew about him, but they did not know him intimately, so that when the doubt, the fear, the conversations came, they didn't have a relationship to protect. So who is Jesus to you? Is he a stranger? Is he a friend? Is he someone that you know of, or is he someone that you have intimate relationship with? Your relationship with Jesus will determine how connected to God you are, because Jesus is the door. There is no other door. Sorry, there's a narrow way to the King, and that way is through his son, like it or not. God has made himself optional. Today I've given you a choice between life and death, between blessings and cursings. Now I call on heaven and earth to witness the choice you make. Oh, that you would choose life so that you and your descendants might live. So the point becomes this: do you want God to be real? If you are a person that doubts God's existence, do you want to doubt his existence? There are many things in the Bible, quite frankly, I don't understand, but I don't have to understand. Creation itself has too many intricate details for it to have just evolved. I don't believe that. And evolution takes faith. I choose to believe that there is someone, some being, some purpose to all of this that leads somewhere. That is my choice. But others choose not to believe, and that is their choice. So my belief in who God is and God's reality makes me connect to wisdom and grace that somebody that doesn't want him to be real will never get. So if you really want to connect with God, choose him, want him, desire him above the doubts. And then the God who wants relationship with you will give you light because you want to be connected to him. And if you want to be connected to God, there's levels of that connection. Check this video out. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. See you next time. A chapter a day keeps foolishness away. Okay, that's not really a saying. I just made that up.